What brings out the worst in you? People who are unable to use common sense situational awareness. If you are in the grocery store and see someone is trying to get by, move over. If someone has the AC on in their house and you need to go outside for a second, close the door. If you are on the highway in the left lane and you are going 5 under the speed limit and there is a trail of 20 cars behind you, move over. Nothing infuriates me more than people parking their carts in the middle of a shopping aisle directly across from each other. Leave some room for people to go around or park them on the same side. When people talk down to you and patronize you, I am grateful receiving any advice, wisdom, but just because I'm younger than you doesn't mean my brain is made of concrete. My mother is of the mindset that giving birth to someone automatically grants her complete total knowledge of any possible subject that I, a simpleton, could never understand. It's the worst. People who pay no mind to the world around them. They stop in front of doors other people need to go through. Stop at the end of stairwells while other people are also climbing up. Don't let passengers get out of the bus subway first before they can go in. Make their best effort to cuss you while walking, driving. Then continue going in front of you as slowly as possible. It takes little to no effort to be a decent human being and comprehend you are not the sole, nor the most important person on this earth. If people hold the door for you, make an effort to at least hold the door yourself and keep it open for the next person. If there is a person who looks like they need a seat more than you do, offer it to them. If someone says good morning or hi to you, at least respond back. I understand no one is entitled or expected to do these things, but they truly go a long way and can only make everybody's day better. Have a nice rest of the day, everyone. You should avoid Asia. India would kill you. People who don't understand how hard it is being shy or socially awkward. Not those who simply don't get it, but those who don't get it and then insist that it's easy and absolutely nothing, or that you are just making a big deal out of it. A pompous attitude. Someone trying to act better than everyone. One-upping, negging, being hypercritical of everything. I can never take the high road around someone like that. False accusations. I can tolerate a lot, but nothing boils my blood faster than when someone starts accusing me of stuff I didn't do or say, tries twisting my own words to reflect badly on me. Bonus rage for when the accuser uses your anger at being falsely accused as proof that they're right. Interrupting me on purpose. If it happens on accident, that's okay. Happens a lot during conversation. Doing it deliberately though because you don't want to hear what I have to say? Yeah, that's a hard no for me. If you don't get immediately snapped on as a result, then more likely or not I'm tuning you out because I'm focusing on trying to keep myself under control. Bonus anger. If you're in the middle of talking to a friend, co-worker, and someone just butts into the conversation to talk to you or the person you're talking to about something else completely, it's fine if it's something urgent, but oftentimes it could have waited until we were done. It's really freaking rude. Liars. Not like a little white lie once in a while, but people who tell bigger lies to get around on a daily basis. If I catch you red-handed, it's not gonna be pretty. And people who don't treat their pets nicely. Even though I'm small of stature, I'm sure as heck not afraid to tell someone when they aren't being good owners. There is nothing worse than seeing a pet who loves their owner unconditionally being treated like crap by them. And the liars that act smug like, you can prove it when you both know they did it. The little shits. People not listening. I can't stand explaining to someone why I think they're wrong, my opinion etc, and the response is something that has nothing at all to do with what I said. It makes my blood boil. Especially when the argument or disagreement is about a fact I know I am right about and then spend time explaining exactly how and why I am correct. I mean, I love to actually debate and argue, but both sides have a responsibility to absorb the information presented and to respond. Not just keep repeating the same thing over and over a little bit louder each time. It freaking infuriates me. If I repeatedly ask someone not to do something and they keep doing it. I go to school with this girl who kept drawing dongs on my fogged up car windows and leaving fingerprints and smudges everywhere, and I like to keep my car generally clean, so I kept asking her to stop. Which led to me telling her not to stop when she didn't, when then led to me screaming at her one day when she kept doing it. Always respect what other people ask you not to do with their own crap, people. People cutting in line. I'm very non-confrontational, but if I see someone cutting in life, regardless if it's in front or behind me, I will always tell them as politely as I can to get to the back of the line. And what sucks is cutting in line is an abuse of people politeness. Anyone who does it just hopes the people behind them won't say anything. But if you do say something, they always try to make you look like the bad guy. People who argue passionately about something, but as soon as you argue back they get defensive and attack you, or act as if you're obsessed for caring about disagreeing with them on whatever they were just gushing about. People who use the "why are you obsessed" tactic when they argue with you are the worst. People who are stubborn against set rules. I cannot comprehend certain stupidity, and it becomes a loop in my head of me attempting to understand why somebody would do something so dumb. Why are you turning left on a red light? You almost hit me. False accusations. My brain starts burning the exact moment says I did something I didn't do. And if I was younger and didn't absolutely snap on the person, I would be now knowing I should have murdered him with words. False accusations. Man, even thinking about it makes me mad. Jeez. I was raised in a lower middle class household. My parents were the most successful of their siblings. All of my aunts and uncles and cousins lived in poverty. None of them had stable jobs. None of them went to college. Almost all of them lived in trailer homes in the South. Most were divorced multiple times or never married. All the women were single mothers at some point. All of the men were paying child support at some point. Not that there's anything wrong with that. They were good people, very friendly, and would do anything they could to help you. They were perfectly happy in their socio-economic tract. Until someone died. Then they fought over that person's possessions. Not for the memories, but for the monetary value of those things. Through a decade of hard work, sacrifice, and luck, I was able to make it to the next socio-economic level. In their eyes, I am rich. I'm not. But by comparison to them, I guess I am. The only time I see my extended family anymore is for funerals. I've gone to 4 funerals for family members in the last decade. And it's always the same. My cousins, aunts, and uncles arguing over who gets what, when it's all cheap, trivial stuff. I have 2 uncles who no longer talk to each other because of an argument over who got my father's used riding mower. Supposedly, my father told both of them they could have it on separate occasions with the promise that they would keep my mother's yard mowed. They've literally quit talking for 4 years over this stupid riding lawnmower. It's worth, at best, $400. I just want to scream at them. $400 is not worth getting pee over. Just buy another lawnmower. The days between death and funeral are the worst. That's when everyone comes in from out of town and starts circling like vultures, trying to get what they can before other relatives make it to town. I happened to be one of the first people there when my grandfather died. My aunt, who was living with him in his final days, invited me to take whatever I wanted before your cousins get here. I looked around. I couldn't find anything I wanted. I ended up taking a pair of his suspenders. He always wore suspenders, just as a keepsake. My cousins, when they got there, nearly picked his house clean. To them, everything had dollar signs on it. They couldn't wait to sell his stuff for a few bucks. This really sucks. Something similar happened in my family, but not as bad as this. Sorry you have to be a part of that. Good on you for being the person you are. My anxiety. When I'm in an anxious situation, my conscience goes completely out the window and I act like an idiot. I've done some pretty terrible things because of my anxiety. Oh, I feel this. My anxiety makes my reasonable thought process completely disappear. Sometimes I'm mean without wanting to be. I make impulse decisions that I regret, and just do things I would never do in my right mind. I hate it. I usually have my anxiety under control, but every now and then I just fall apart. People who try to force people to live a different way because they don't like the way the other people are living, even though those people aren't freaking hurting anyone or anything. I just lose my freaking crap. I mean, I may not agree with how some people are living, but if they aren't hurting anyone, leave them TF alone. Getting targeted in Mario Kart, specifically Mario Kart 8. It's that moment whenever you get blue shelled right next to the finish line and still finish last. Blue shells are the worst thing ever created in a video game. People that play their music on their phones in public places. or FaceTime in a public place without lowering their voice at all or using headphones, or even just people who have loud extended phone calls in a place where other people are near them, or parents that let their children play freaking phone games on full volume out in the world. People, avoidably, wasting the time of others. Set a date to hang out with some friends. Get there with one of them, other two aren't there. Text them. They're over 20 minutes away. As a note, me and the other guy were already 10 minutes late because he didn't get ready until I showed up to carpool. LOL, I didn't take traffic into account. We live in the busiest city in the state. How the frick did you not think there would be traffic? And this happens every time. The way I was raised, I find wasting others' time to be one of the most disrespectful things you can do. I'm always early to places, always ready to go before someone needs me to be. Sudden change of plans. I like not going out, but when I'm already hyped so much I had problems with sleeping, you bet your butt I'm gonna get mad when those plans are getting cancelled when I'm already ready to go out. I had 3 friends bail on me the day before a quick road trip, 1.5-hour drive, to play airsoft. I haven't gone with them since. I invite them, but it's more of I'm going. If you want to join, meet me there kind of invite. People being buttholes to others who can't defend themselves. My PTSD kicks in and I just lose it. I got the crap beat out of me on a daily basis through most of my childhood, and any kind of bullying just pushes my buttons. I saw a little kid, like 9 or 10 maybe, punch his 4-year-old brother in the face one time. The little boy just pulled on some toy his brother was holding, so he could look at it. Bam. Right in the face. I just freaking lost it. I screamed at him so loud, people were reaching for their phones to dial the police. Hey, don't you ever hit your little brother. I mean, it was a perfectly reasonable thing to say that most people agree with, but there was so much rage in my voice. The kid went white as a sheet and nearly pee himself. You never heard a Walmart go so dead silent in all your life. The kid's mom, when she realized I wasn't going to actually harm them, just muttered, "Yes, Bobby, don't hit your brother," but she still bought him that freaking toy. Hence the punching in the face, I guess. Politics. Which is why I don't watch the 24/7 news channels anymore. They were turning me into a horrible person. I still have some pretty deeply held political views, but I keep them to myself now. Makes for a more peaceful home life and I get along better with people. Same here. My family is very political and God forbid you disagree with them no matter how educated on the subject it is. What they said is how it is or frick off. I can't do it. It's not worth it. Unsolicited advice by anyone, but if it is from people I don't respect then I am a god level threat to those people. Also, sarcastic criticism, and especially if it is from someone who is unaware of self-criticism, drives me nuts every time to a point I feel like I can breathe fire. Improper use of words. We have different ones for a reason, and now look, literally now also means figuratively. Who does that? Putting walnut in brownies. It will trigger a 5-minute rant from me about how walnuts do not belong in brownies, and those who think otherwise are either misguided or malicious. I don't like this about me, but I feel duty bound by God to make this truth known. I do like me some walnut in brownies, but I can't stand when someone makes something and doesn't tell you what's in them. This especially goes for family. Just try it. People who try to control me and accuse me of things I'm not doing. Bonus anger when I try to defend myself and they double down on their accusations. That's the quickest way to turn me into Godzilla. Someone leaving the light on. Someone leaving the door open. Unnecessary walking. Any kind of noise. Disobedience. Fortnite. My number one is chewing sounds for sure. I'll start thinking of how to escape ASAP. People who knowingly misrepresent things to prove a point. I can get people being wrong or misinformed. Crap. Everyone makes mistakes, but if you're knowingly presenting bad information, and you continue to do so after you've been presented with information to the contrary, I have absolutely zero patience for your shenanigans. It's been a rough couple of years, put it that way. Cycling. I do it to get to work and back because it keeps me fit and I save crap loads of money that I would otherwise be spending on a car. The issue is it's super stressful. Where I live there's very little support for cycling. Cycle lanes are rare, and where they do exist they're just a white line on the side of a road that hasn't actually been expanded. On top of this, the roads are small while cars can still be quite big. I don't want special treatment. I just don't want to be swearing, stressed and angry the whole time because I feel like one slip up could ruin my month. When people are constantly negative around me, constant complaining, whining, when people are always in a bad mood, that crap pisses me off. People who grew up upper middle class with pushover parents who have the audacity to be about their loving family who goes along with all their bulls and takes them to pride parades even though they're LARPing. If this sounds specific, it absolutely is. I've never wanted to punch someone in the face more. She complained to me about how rich her family was and how they owned a boat. See, I would have loved to be upper middle class instead of living in a ghetto apartment complex where I was chased by 6-7 gangbangers who hammered down my door and threatened to do horrible things to me. And on that note, upper class people, we're talking summer homes rich, saying it must have been cool to live in the ghetto. No, it wasn't B. I almost died. Okay, I think I'm done ranting. TL. DR. People who fetishize poverty aren't grateful for what they have. I don't know what it is about traffic and bad drivers in traffic that makes me a raging lunatic. I can sit somewhere and wait for something for hours. No problems taking 10-hour road trips. Pretty chill through long layovers, and a general lax view on time and waiting in general. But 10 minutes of crap traffic and my urge to kill rises. When you tell a co-worker something important about how to do their job and they're not supposedly listening, and then mess up the task you just explained thoroughly, then they blame you for not telling them how to do it. Then they cry when you finally flip out after this has happened multiple times. So I guess my co-worker brings out the worst in me. Uneven application of rules. It's the one thing that has ever driven me to such a place of anger that I caused harm to myself. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.